In 4 months, we can finally travel despite COVID-19. How? Here is how. I have just arrived to the United Arab Emirates. It's one of the first countries in the world to open for tourism safely. Here is the step-by-step process. First, the plane to the country cannot be full. It can only be booked up to 80%. So there is space between you and others. The crew on the plane is protected and you are too. They give you a mask and gloves to wear the whole time so you don't touch anything or anyone. At the airport, they give you a free COVID-19 test. If you pass it, you don't have to spend 14 days in quarantine. You are a free tourist. At the hotel, the rooms are sanitized.
Wow! Clean, sanitized rooms.
At the malls, everyone is wearing a mask and everyone is checked for temperature. So you can enjoy the indoors without worry. And the outdoors, everyone is socially distanced so you don't get close to other tourists. And at the desert, there are no tourists. You can get a car, a driver, a mask, and you'll have the best experience ever. And this is totally... And at the nature, you can see the most breathtaking views without worrying about getting the virus. Because here, there are no humans. And so, there is no COVID. From planes, to airports, to sanitized hotels, to malls, to nature, tourism is back. Yes, there is still COVID-19, unfortunately, and we still have to be careful. But this country understands that COVID is here to stay, and we need to learn to live with it. Dubai is proof that it's possible to travel again. We just need to put tourism second and safety first. See you next week! Be careful of the SAD syndrome, because right now you may have it. The SAD syndrome is a real thing humans get from the weather. Every time the weather is gray, rainy, snowy, or cold, people clinically feel sad. People feel depressed. It's called... That is the SAD syndrome, seasonal affective disorder. And I get sad all the time from the changing of the seasons. That's why 5 years ago I made a decision to only wear t-shirts and to only make videos in places with warm weather. For example, in the month of December, I spent it in Abu Dhabi, the Emirates, where the weather is exactly the right amount for my t-shirt. At 24 latitude and 54 longitude, for 6 months every year, the sun and the earth are aligned to create the perfect temperature in this part of planet Earth. 26 Celsius degrees on average, 1 degree above room temperature. So instead of freezing in New York with minus 10 degrees, in this part of planet Earth, the weather is actually good in the winter. The only rain you will see is this. Okay, I did lie. It does get really cold in here, but only before sunrise. Because for the rest of the day, the sun is out and the weather is warm again. Scientifically speaking, what makes people happy is not just friends and not just family. It's also rays of the sun that are full of vitamin D. But honestly, temperature doesn't matter. It's the dryness that matters. Abu Dhabi desert weather is dry, which means water evaporates really fast. And so does your sweat. So you can spend the whole time in the middle of the desert at noon without any fear of sweating or smelling. I love the weather. It's perfect. It's perfect. We all say happiness comes from the inside, and good weather makes you happy. Hey, the guy you see next to me is the world's youngest billionaire, and he's not even 30.
Hi, I'm Ritesh Agarwal. I'm 26 years old.
And this guy doesn't come from New York, doesn't come from California, doesn't come from Sweden. He comes from here, Rayagada, India, a city where most people make no more than $10 a day. For the first time ever, I want to share with you the incredible success story of the world's youngest billionaire. Ritesh grew up poor, and for 18 years he struggled. He didn't go to university and he had no career.
At that point of time, I felt this was the toughest period I was ever going to endure in my life.
At some point, he was kicked out of his apartment with 50 cents in his bank account. So how the hell do you become a billionaire?
Money is not what I ever cared about. It is always about solving real problems for me.
And so he did. He noticed that a nearby hotel was empty a lot of the time, and the owner wasn't making much money. So he went to the owner and took the biggest risk of his life. He promised to make his hotel better. He changed the light bulbs. He changed the beds. He added water. He put picture frames. He put room service. And he took nice pictures of the hotel and put them on the internet and changed the name and called it Oyo Hotel. All of a sudden, the hotel went from empty to full, and it worked.
First hotel is always the hardest. When I was able to change one hotel, I was pretty sure I could change hundreds.
At age 20, he raised money from investors. At age 21, he hired 50 people. At age 22, he had 500 hotels. At age 24, he raised $1 billion. And at age 26, right now, he has 46,000 hotels and built the second largest hotel chain in the world. And he's not even 30 years old.
Many people told me multiple times, go to university, seek help from parents to make sure that you can do that. This is just not going to work.
That's crazy. Think about this for a second. A random kid in a poor city in India with 50 cents in his bank account became the world's youngest billionaire in 5 years and helped 350,000 people get jobs. This isn't just luck. This is the definition of hard work. He worked at night. He worked on weekends. He knocked on doors. He guessed people's emails. He begged to get meetings. And he succeeded even when all the odds were stacked against people that looked like him.
But I do believe in luck. I believe if you work hard, your probability of being lucky increases dramatically.
When you don't let your nationality, ethnicity, age, university background, family status, or gender come in the way, you will achieve greatness. Hey there, how are you? Thank you so much for watching the video. Try watching another video. They're short and they're meaningful. Also, try following this channel. I think you'll enjoy it. Every day, there's gonna be a much better video coming your way. Thank you so much. In a small city in Turkey, there is a man who is the tallest in the world. He's so tall that a normal door is too short, a normal car is too small, a normal bed is not enough, and a normal person is tiny in front of him. Who is he? How did he get this tall? And why does he need a king? When I was in Turkey, a lot of people told me about a guy who lives in a remote city near the border of Syria, who's taller than anyone else in the world. So I got curious and thought to myself I had to see him in person. So I flew here to the city of Mardin. It's right by the border between Syria and Turkey. Where are we?
In Turkey.
He literally doesn't know. In a normal year, this city is full of tourists. But because of the war in Syria and the COVID-19 pandemic, it is quiet. And here is where the tallest man in the world lives.
Hi, my name is Sultan, tallest man.
He is a staggering 2 meters 51 centimeters, which takes 2 people stacked on top of each other to reach his height.
Tallest man.
He is also the biggest. Sultan's hands are the biggest in the world, and so are his feet. He wears special shoes, special clothes, and uses a special pen.
I love you. Metin, I love you.
But it's not all as fun as it sounds. When Sultan was 10 years old, doctors found a tumor in his brain that made him grow taller and taller, more than all his friends, even more than his parents.
Uzadığımdan dolayı toplum olarak beni kabul etmiyorlardı. Her yerde sıkıntılar çekiyor.
And the taller he got, the more problems he found. He couldn't even go to normal school anymore. He couldn't drive a car, and he couldn't stand for longer than 30 minutes. That's why he needs a cane. It's hard for him to find a job, to walk around, and even to find love. When he slipped and broke his leg because of his size, the hospital could not treat him for 10 days.
Çok sıkıntılar çektim ve Allah'a şükürler olsun ayağım iyileşti. Ve ben kaldığım yerden devam ediyorum.
His body became so tall, he had to fly to the United States just to get a doctor to stop him from growing. But Sultan is the last person to complain.
Dünyanın en zor adamı olmak yani gerçekten.
Hi, this special video includes an airport, a prison, war, and Canada. Here is how it went. One day I woke up to an email that said, "This guy needs your help." I respond. I look the guy up and turns out he really needs help. He is a Syrian refugee stuck in an airport in Malaysia for 6 months. He has no home, no valid passport, and no way of getting out of the airport.
Hi, my name is Hassan.
I reached him on the phone and understood that he doesn't need money or food, he just needs people to get him out of the airport. A group of Canadian volunteers were trying to sponsor him to Canada, but the process takes 26 months.
I went to the social media because I was really desperate with no other solution.
I wanted to help Hassan. I wanted to meet him and make a video. But there was one problem. I can't meet him because Hassan is stuck in Malaysia and I am not allowed to enter Malaysia. Instead, my friend Egan and I came up with an idea.
It was me who flew to Malaysia instead. I meet him in the terminal, make a video with him, and then come back. Honestly, we knew it was a little bit risky, but definitely worth it.
Because it worked. We put the video together, launched it the next morning, and the next thing we know, his story exploded. Millions of people wanted to help Hassan. We felt happy. We thought he could finally be free. Until all of a sudden, Hassan disappeared. He was sent to jail for talking to the media. He was about to be deported back to Syria, and that could be the end of him. You probably can imagine how terrible and nervous we all were. We were getting thousands of comments of angry people saying, "Your video is the reason this person is going to die." His lawyers, friends, and everybody were working 24/7 to try and free him from jail. And millions of other people on the internet were concerned. But one day, before all hope was lost, Hassan was released. The international pressure worked, and that video we made about him expedited the process from 23 months to 2 months. It worked. The real heroes of this story welcomed him in Canada. His life went from this to this, and this, and this.
I'm now free in Canada.
He is now starting a new life as a free man.
I have work. I have my own place. There's nothing to complain about.
What you're looking at is the best example of humanity, where a few Canadians and lawyers saved his life, and millions of good-hearted Malaysians, Canadians, and internet people supported them.
I enjoy my life. I'm still living my dream. It's my fairy tale.
Your one like, one comment, one share can literally move mountains and potentially save lives. Hassan's story is the perfect example of why you should never doubt the power of people. See you next week.
People, they have the power. They can lead the change. They can be the change.
Hi. The worst part about traveling is airports. They are never fun and always stressful. Except this one! What you're looking at is the best, most epic, most amazing airport in the world, and this is not an exaggeration. Because this airport has everything you need and don't need. A full, gigantic 5-story playground, a museum, a movie theater, an outdoor sunflower garden, a barber, a million restaurants, and a million power plugs, which other airports don't have. An automatic toilet, and a slide! A swimming pool, a fish pond, a sleeping space, and a butterfly garden. All of this just to get on a plane. Airports usually suck, but the people in Singapore turned a stressful place into a Disneyland. Last 1 minute, see you tomorrow!
So this time, we're just trying to get as many of these little pieces of wood as we can, so I can make it all the way to the end of the bonus. This is a big patch right here. I can't miss that. Gotta get that. First place by.
Extreme sports, extreme nature, extreme people. This is the story of a country that doesn't exist on many world maps. Literally, it's not on this map, or this map, or this map. But what I saw in this country blew my mind, and I think it will blow your mind. This is Life Before COVID-19, a new travel series where I show you the beauty of the world before the pandemic for you to enjoy from your couch. And for this week, I want to show you New Zealand. It's a small country at the edge of the world, literally at the edge of the world. That's why many world maps forget to include the country of New Zealand. And honestly, I understand why. New Zealand is very chill. It's so chill, when you visit, you will see people walking barefoot. No shoes, no flip-flops, nothing. It's completely normal. And it's so chill that the news in New Zealand is incredibly boring. On an average day before COVID-19, this is what makes it to the top headline.
Hello, my name is Josh, and in New Zealand, the following news headlines are real. Flock of sheep stops car chase. Bad baseball pitch triggers brawl. Police find suspicious towel on the ocean, and perfectly cut lemons wash ashore. In other countries, the news will stress you out. In New Zealand, the news will chill you out.
Yes, the country may be chill, but the people are extreme.
Welcome to New Zealand. Welcome to New Zealand. Welcome to New Zealand.
They have the most extreme sports I've tried in my life, like jumping. Are extreme.
Welcome to New Zealand. Welcome to New Zealand. Welcome to New Zealand.
They have the most extreme sports I've tried in my life, like jumping out of planes and jumping out of bridges. In fact, commercial bungee jumping started here in New Zealand. But above all, this country is home to extreme nature. New Zealand has more sheep than people and more green than anywhere you'll ever see. This is exactly why the Hobbit movie was filmed here.
Wow, this is insane.
Isn't it cool?
It smells really good.
Can you imagine some people get to call this home, like the indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maori. They lived in New Zealand for thousands of years with their own culture and their own traditions that you cannot find anywhere else in the world. From extreme chillness to extreme sports to extreme nature, New Zealand may not be on your map. Literally not on your map because it's at the bottom of the world. But really, it should be at the top of your list of places to visit when COVID-19 is over. See you next week. Hey there, how are you? Thank you so much for watching the video.